Hi, everyone. We are back with inspired by FreeSpirit. We have been off for a little bit, but now we are back, and we wish you a happy Valentine's Day. We're very excited to be here again. I'm Sharon Thornton with FreeSpirit Fabrics, and we have a wonderful guest today. We have Kaffe Fassett, and we're very excited to bring him to you live. So here we are. I just want to go over a couple of things. We are coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. We always love to hear where you're all coming and tuning in from, so please let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to know if anything that Kaffe goes over or that we show you today that you really like or love. We'd like for you to send us some thumbs up and some hearts. We will be posting this on our Facebook page. Well, we're live right now on our Facebook page. It will be posted on our Facebook page. It will be on our Instagram page, and it will be on our YouTube page. And I believe that the Kaffe team will also be posting this on their website as well after it is over. So if you'd like to, watch again, you're more than welcome to. It will be in all of those social media platforms. What else do I need to tell you? I'm trying to think now. It's been a while since we've been on, so I'm a little rusty here. But anyways, we have Kaffe. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Kaffe Collective. So the Kaffe Collective consists of Kaffe Fassett. It consists of Brandon Mably and Philip Jacobs. And Kaffe recolors all of the artwork for all three. Well, not his work. He obviously does his own work, and he could tell you a little bit more about that. But Kaffe does all the colorations for the whole collective, but the collective consists of three artists. So just wanted to make you all aware of that. And I am going to turn this over to Kaffe right now. Hold on, Kaffe. Kaffe, we welcome you. Hold on one second, though, because I don't have you on the spotlight video yet. I don't want you to say hello just yet because I cannot see you. Let me see. Here we go. Kaffe, you're live. So welcome. Thank you for being our Valentine today.
Okay, great. Now, there's one thing I'm going to correct that Sharon just told you. That I do the colorways for Philip Jacobs. He does this beautiful artwork like what's behind me, but I then give him a color scheme on each of his fabrics, but Brandon does his own colorways.
Oh, all right.
And so he is his own person. So that's
Yes.
very important to know.
Right.
Okay, so it's always a joy to be able to speak to you about the latest children in the family, and that's what our fabrics are. They're our kids. And we love them dearly. And what's exciting is by the time I get to talk to you about them, I've already had a go at making certain quilts and things. So here we go with the first design. Is called Carpet Cookies. And you might know that I'm very, very influenced by Oriental carpets. And so I love to take these lovely motifs. And here I've given you lots of plain background so that people can fussy cut these and applique them or use them as a border by running a great strip of these down or across. And there's a nice little smaller print called Lucy, which is a Philip Jacobs, and I love it. He's had that out for years, but I grabbed it back from him to use in my collections, and I just love the way these circles play together. Lovely big floral burst, that's called a Philip Jacobs. Just a gorgeous thing that we did years ago, but I brought it back because it's just so glorious, and his painting is just gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I did some very simple things like this thing called Shiraz, just a nice little stripe, which you'll see works like a sort of picket fence around things. It's a lovely element. And then the two fabrics above and below are called Tudor, and they're just a nice, complicated, rich sort of pattern with little outlines around the colors so that they have a nice zing, a nice kind of spiciness. And they're sort of medium sized, not too tiny. And then a nice, big, wonderful splash is Brandon's Funky Floral, Flora, which is just fantastic. Really, really exciting. We've done this in black and white and gray, and that's very, very exciting. But here's some beautiful splash of color.
Lift the fabric. Oh, down. Yeah, you can underneath this picture.
Sorry. So another one that I've done is called Twigs, which is just a nice little simple design. I did it first in black, white, and red, which is very, very sharp. But for a nice dark colorway, this just simple leaves outline is nice. There's the carpet cookies in this with a nice blue background, cool. And look at Brandon's funky flora, looking
beautiful.
gorgeous. Oh, and there you get to see how big the whole fabric is. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then underneath is this wonderful fish lips, which Brandon had out years ago and has brought back. And it's so wonderful to use. That is a very exciting, simple graphic design. It's exciting to put with our flowers and things. My favorite in the whole collection is this one called Beaded Curtain. And that makes a great border, as you can see how we've played with that. Brandon had this one called a flower net, which is very nice, like a sort of lovely dollhouse wallpaper. And one of my favorites this season is called Discs, which is very, very simple, just big globes of color. And then I just put these little marks on them in different colorings. And that I found is the most useful of the fabrics that I've done for a long time. I've used them as borders. I've used them as fill-ins. Now here we've got our nice big floral from Philip, Floral Burst, in a very sort of golden autumn kind of colorway. There's discs in pink, which I find very, very jolly and just lovely lightness about it. And there's Floral Burst with a really dark richness with jewel-like colors, which just shine out nicely. And there's a nice rosy kind of twigs pattern. Funky Flora again. And well, what have we got here? This is a sort of nice
tonal
filler
flowers.
fabric. It's called Tonal Flora, and that's just taking flowers and making them very, very much like their background, so that it's just a lovely, nice smear of color, a nice sort of texture piece. And that the most useful of that might be this very, very bland sort of beigey colorway, which is all like sort of driftwood, kind of silvery gray. And that's fun. And then there's carpet cookies with a gray background. One of my favorite new colorways of the Floral Burst, really strong contrast with that wonderful chocolate brown leaf against a lovely pink sky. I find that exciting. I brought back Philip's wonderful sunflower. I just can't get enough of this. I find it so exciting, particularly if you're doing big cutout flowers and you want to use a really strong targety kind of flower. And in this kind of black and white colorway, it's very exciting. It's called Van Gogh, for obvious reasons. And then there's a gray version of my discs. Funky Flora. And I mean, this is a Floral Burst in the original colorway. This is the kind of artwork that Philip Jacobs brings to me, and then I usually do the other colorways of it. But there's the sort of classic old antique colorway. And there we have our lovely little stripe, which I figure is like a picket fence when it's used in quilts. I like it very much. And then I've been getting into very nice, soft, neutral kind of colors lately. So here we've got grays and aqua and lovely soft colors for the carpet cookie. And there is Lucy, the lovely sort of daisy print of Phillips, looking so different in this colorway, just kind of strange blue and white.
It's really beautiful.
Lovely soft version of Brandon's wonderful funky flora. And this one I just adore, and it's very, very useful. It's called Climbing Geranium. It's like a little dollhouse wallpaper. It's the sweetest thing. And I've used that a great deal for like sashing and things like that between designs. And there's our big beaded curtain. Yeah.
Beaded curtain. Yep.
Which is fun. And then this one, which is a beautiful thing of Brandon's called Flower Net, we've done as a backing. So like 4 times this size, really big and bold as a backing. And that's exciting in that colorway. So if you have like a blue and white quilt, that would be a beautiful backing. And there's a lovely soft pastel version. I always try to do soft, very delicate, kind of English watercolory versions of my fabrics whenever possible, so that people who want to do something very quiet can do it. Now there is my favorite colorway of the beaded curtain. And if you don't think this would make a great little skirt with a beaded fringe on the bottom of it, I don't know what. I just think that would be fantastic.
That would.
And then there's the Climbing Geranium, lovely fresh greens and discs with a green background, and very delicate, pale, kind of off-white daisy called Lucy. And this is what we're going to show you in a minute, the actual quilt. But that's the way you use the wonderful borders, but we're going to show you that in the flesh and the real. There's wonderful fish lips in gorgeous shades of jade green. And then here we've got the very, very useful flower net, my twigs in blue and white with a yellow background, and the Tudor. All of these work really nicely if you want something on a slightly smaller scale. I mean, I'm known for doing my very, very big scales, and I love my bold scales. Now there is that wonderful flora of Brandon's, the funky flora in black and white. And isn't that exciting with the gray? And then the black and white fish lips to go with it. Just African, exciting, cutting, wonderful. And there's the original of twigs, the way I did it with red, black, and white. So it's very crisp and so forth. And then that daisy done in kind of graphite grays and blacks and white is exciting. And I love the purple tones in the Climbing Geranium for this version. So those things are, and they work beautifully. We'll see in a quilt that we have an example of. And then just as my last burst of the fabrics, here we've got the carpet cookies with a nice black background, making these look like stained glass windows, really. And fish lips in wonderful blacks and purples, and my sort of tonal flower there. And this is my second favorite colorway of the floral burst, and the sort of bronzy leaves with purple and that very icy kind of mint green. I just think that works a treat with a black background. And there we've got very sort of bronzy looking tonal flower, which is fun when you want something really dark. And there's a dark version of our beaded curtain. And this is probably the most useful of all for me, discs. We've used this as borders in several new quilts, and it just works a treat. So that's called discs. And then you can see just the simple markings on each of those circles of color. And a nice purple version on the black background. I love inky black backgrounds. I find it very exciting. I'm standing on a rug in my studio right now that's covered with rich colored flowers on black background that came from Chechnya. So those are the fabrics. And, you know, it's nice sometimes just to see them in a great big piece. There's our carpet cookies, and how much fun that is. We often use a square of this with 4 flowers together or something like that as a part of the quilt, and it works very well. I think this very simple flower border thing called Shiraz is very, very useful and exciting. I you know, when I look at old paintings, Persian paintings and things, you see these wonderful robes that people wear that are a very simple idea of just like a little paisley on the stripe. And I just like that so much that I just thought, isn't it fun to have something like that, very simple and structural, to add to your more elaborate prints. So I've run through those very, very fast. I'm just going to show you a bigger piece of the
Oh yeah, that one's gorgeous.
Phillips thing. I mean, isn't that just joyous?
It is.
It's such a celebration of structure, because we get these wonderful big contrasting circles, but also the lovely soft pinks and orangey coppery tones in the black background. So that's really it for what we've done. And we've done another book which Brandon's going to talk to you about. We've got 2 new books coming out, actually. So one is shot in this wonderful castle in Wales, and the other one is a book where I've gone through my whole archive and picked out fabulous themes. It's called Timeless Themes, and I've picked fabrics that have like a little vase or a basket or a bowl in it, and then another whole section that's just on circles or on stripes and how we play with stripes of all different types, sometimes regular, sometimes very irregular. And all of that, it was great fun to put this book together. And the inspiration pages, I think, are the best thing we've ever done. I mean, if I may say so, I'm really, really pleased. When I opened this book, I thought, wow, this is exactly what I had in my imagination. And so it's very nice when the publishers help us to create a book that really is the vision that we have to give you as inspiration for your creativity. So Brandon's going to come and talk to you now about fabrics, but just before that, we're going to walk around the room with Sharon, and she's going to show us some of the quilts that she has there in the studio, and I'll talk you through.
Right. Okay. I'm going to change the spotlight. Thank you, Kaffe. But before I do that, I just want to remind everybody that what Kaffe just showed us was 66 SKUs from or designs, 66 different designs that he just showed us of our February 2023 fabrics, which are shipping to shops now. So I'm sure that you've all been inspired by many of the pieces he's just shown. And if you're interested in getting any of that fabric to start creating, that you should be getting in touch with your local quilt shop now. So now I'm going to switch the camera over. I'm in here with Sarah Asby. We'll have to throw her on the camera soon too. Hold on. All right, so hold on. Here we go. So we're going to show this quilt. And Kaffe, you're going to walk us through this, right? Because
so this is called framed floral, isn't it?
Yeah, framed flowers.
frame flowers. So I've taken all this kind of circular, flowery kind of prints and put a frame around each one. And then you can see how I've used the red version of the beaded curtain as the border. And boy, look at that. What a lovely border that makes. Nice zigzag of different colors. So, and then Brandon's fish lips and his wonderful funky flora as the border, a really Baroque splashy border there.
Okay, I really like this Shiraz, how it was used on the binding here on the edge. They
Oh,
cut it-
yes,
Yeah.
that's nice. Using the stripe there. And then can we go back to the middle and we'll
Yeah.
look at the way that stripe is like a little picket fence around the flowers in the middle. And there we've got the flower burst as our center.
Mhm. Just interesting to see the different ways that all the patterns can be used.
Yeah, and then twig is the sashing.
Mm-hmm. It's nicely done.
Yeah.
So this is, like Kate said, this is called Frame Flowers. It's an 84-inch square. This can be found, this is a free pattern that can be found on our website at FreeSpiritFabrics.com. And hold on a second. I hope I wasn't just in that, just stucking around. So if you're looking for the frame flowers and you go under projects on the Free Spirit Fabrics website, you can find this pattern on page 3. So if you're looking for it, we know that some people have been asking about where to find the patterns, and then you'll find this under projects on our website on page 3 is where you'll find frame flowers. Okay, so Kate, we're going to pan over to this floral medallion quilt.
Yeah. Now this is my favorite coloring. Look at that, the wonderful punch of those blue flowers in the middle. And then you get the little like dollhouse wallpaper of the climbing geranium with the purple notes around it and the twig. And then the funky floral in the grays just looks lacy and gorgeous. And then of course, the beaded curtain is that's my favorite colorway. And that's why, because it works so well as that border, so crisp.
Mm-hmm. Get the fish lips for the binding.
Yeah.
So this is floral medallion. As we said, the size of this quilt is a 58 by 62. This also can be found in the FreeSpiritFabrics.com on our website. It is also on page 3. It should be right after the frame flowers on our website. You should be able to see them. They should be sitting almost next to each other.
I can see that in a Victorian room, on a wonderful big Baroque bed.
Oh,
It'd
yeah.
be just gorgeous. Yeah.
Be beautiful. It's a beautiful quilt. Nicely done, both designed by Kaffe and Brandon. And actually the cornerstones on that, Kaffe, show where you were using the
Is that carpet cookies?
yeah, the carpet
Yeah.
cookies down in the
Yeah.
corners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Great.
just how you talked about it.
Very good camera work.
Yes, that's Sarah. Sarah's doing all that.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll move on to the next quilt.
Yeah.
So this one is called Misty Squares.
Yeah.
Kaffe, do you want to
Well, yeah. I mean, what's nice about this is that we used a fabric that's not going to come in for a minute. It's just about to come in
Right.
of Brandon's new design called Reflections, and that's the lovely 2 small borders around that wonderful big funky flora of his. But those little, just a little textury thing, and then there it is in purple. It's just lovely texture. Well, you're going to see it in a minute. He's going to talk about that. And just as a nice kind of tonal texture to go between the more articulate flowers and so forth. Yeah,
Right.
that's very, very nice. And I love the way the flower is in the corners. They're picking different of the carpet cookies and using those in the corners of that border. Lovely.
Right, so that one, like I said, is called Misty Squares, and that's a 62 by 64 inch quilt. This one will not be on our website until the beginning of March. So a couple more weeks, we'll be putting this up on our website. As Kaffe just cited, we have a new SKU. So this is made with reflections, which Brandon's going to talk about momentarily. The reflection SKUs, and it's also the February designs that Kaffe just showed us. So it's a combination of both. And the fabrics will all be available come March. Like I said, the February designs that Kaffe just showed us are shipping now to shops. And then the reflections will be shipping within the next few weeks to shops.
Yeah.
So you'll have to keep an eye out for that.
And you can see how discs makes a nice border on the side there, the gray background and the pastel colors. How all those circles together. I love having the fish lips and the Lucy daisy and then that discs. It's just great, that play on circles.
Yes, it's beautiful. You guys do a great job. We love your quilts.
Thank you.
Thank you for designing them for all of us. We love it. So Kaffe, do you want me to switch the camera back to you? Is
Yeah,
Brandon
you can
ready
switch
to?
back and we're going to turn over to Brandon. He's going to talk about his reflections.
Okay, let me see. There he is. Hey, Brandon.
Hello, Mum. I mean,
Welcome.
hello, Sharon. How you doing? Hi, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in for this Free Spirit Live. It's nice to be back up and running with you guys. It seems ages since we've been had a new collection to come out, because this collection that you've just seen with Kaffe, we actually designed 14 months back. And that's how long it actually takes from when we actually paint out our artwork by hand, and then it goes off to Free Spirit, and then they have to do what they do and finally gets to the shops. So we're delighted to hear the fabrics are out and running. We have our yardage that we're allowed to play with to make the samples for our next book, and we've just shot the next book that's going to come out. It'll be arriving on your doorsteps, I think, late July, August time, and it's going to be called Quilts by the Sea. And we shot it in a very well-known town here in England called Hastings. Some of you who watched Foyle's War television series a couple of years back, about 4 years back, it was filmed there, but we've given it a very, very different, fresh take on looking at the seaside and how we were inspired by the colors to work with our latest collection. Anyway, in the meantime, we have several big hot numbers to talk about. I can't leave without telling you about what's up and coming. Those who follow us on social media would know about the exhibition at the Fashion Textile Museum in Bermondsey, central London, by London Bridge Tube Station. That exhibition will be closing this March, but it will be traveling on to Edinburgh, to the city centre, where it will be shown at the Dovecot Studios. So if any of you have ever wanted an excuse to go to Edinburgh, you can go to Edinburgh. You can also see our exhibition at the same time. It will run there for 3 months, and then there are plans for it to travel on to Stockholm, Sweden. So again, if you want to go to Stockholm, Sweden, there's just another excuse for you to do that. In the meantime, we also have a couple of other exhibitions on the go, quite a lot going on. There's a wonderful small exhibition, needlepoint. Actually, I'm in that exhibition too, I keep forgetting. There's some needlepoint knitting rag rugs at one of Kaffe's favourite gardens in the UK called Hidcote Gardens, and it's where we shot our book Quilts in the Cotswolds. So if you're coming to England and you ever want to go to the Cotswolds, you must call into Hidcote Gardens to see the exhibition, and they're really, really beautiful gardens. The gardens were designed by an American back in the 40s, I think it was. It's famous for its topiary, and it is really, really just charming. Anyway, I'm very, very proud to be able to say those who have our latest P&Q book, Quilts in Wales, we have the pleasure of opening a 3-month exhibition at Powys Castle, which is in mid Wales. That opens, they're going to have a soft opening this coming weekend. So there hasn't been a big trumpet fanfare about the opening because they're having to do a little bit of renovation work in part of the castle. There'll be a grand big opening, I think, in a month's time. And this is the castle, which is, I think it's like a wonderful fruitcake that's on top of a little hill. 13th century castle. The interiors are absolutely staggering. It's just a little bit of a glimpse. And we're going to be putting our work all the way through the castle. It's never been done before. So it's going to be quite magical. I think it'd be quite a good guessing game to go around the castle and guess which is what is actually owned by the castle and what is Kaffe for my work. So that exhibition will be opening this weekend. If you want more information about how to get there and so forth, go to kaffefassett.com events page, and there's all information on the address and blah, 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 opening times and so forth, and any special events coming up. And then Kaffe's going to be, well, Kaffe, myself, and Liza Pry-Lucy, for the last 2 years, have been working quietly behind the scenes on this brand new book, which will be hitting the shelves in April. It's called Timeless Themes. It's Kaffe's latest hardback book, and that just gives you a little bit of a glimpse of the flavor that we're going to be showing you. It has a very kind of, I think, a very modern feel about it. Each chapter has a double-page spread of inspirational shots, and then that leads you into the chapter of how Kaffe's been inspired to do the work that he does. And then Liza has been fabulous on working up the quilts and adding her technical expertise. Just trying to show you another double-page spread. I mean, look at that bum there. Can you all see it? Isn't that wonderful? It's not mine either. It's zebra.
I see that. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I saw one of those walking down the street the other day. She didn't look in a pair of spandex. You never know. Anyway, so that book is called Timeless Themes. But I just want to talk to you about a brand new fabric range that I've just brought out. I was asked by the head of the design team in FreeSpirit called Debbie Stark, and she said that they wanted a blender fabric to work in with the Kaffe Collective. So I came up with a range of fabrics called Reflections, because you know when you look on the water, you kind of the tepid water, and it has a little bit of a ripple, and that ripple is just picking up the reflection from anything that's around it. So I thought that would make a very nice fabric. So I've come up with this design called Reflections. And basically, I took my paintbrush and I made up a palette of colors, and I took a fat paintbrush and I started just making paint marks on my paper, and I arrived at these fabrics, which are beautiful little blenders. Look at that little hot red. And then this, I want a shirt in this purple, plumby purple. It's like blueberry pie. And then there's aqua blue for all those jade lovers.
Mm-hmm. Really beautiful, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will do the job very nicely, because you know there's a lot of the Kaffe Collective fabrics kind of make some people nervous because the scale is so busy and big and large, and how do you deal with them until you cut them down, then they make sense. But having something like this blender in between, this will do what the Aboriginal Dots fabric does, which is one of Kaffe's best selling fabrics. This has a little bit more abstract movement. It's just very soft texture, and the further you get back from it, you can see it just becomes like a scrub suede. And then this is a FreeSpirit downloadable pattern. If you go to their website, you can find this wonderful, these colors are very in fashion at the moment with all the LGBTQ element, OPQST. I never know when to stop with that abbreviation that they're using, but yeah, the gay flag kind of stuff. But those are the happy colors, I think. So for anybody that wants a little bit of splash in their life.
Yes.
So-
Brandon, any of our makers that have worked with the reflections, they love it. So, you
I
know,
love
I think
them.
that once people get their hands on this, they're gonna be very excited.
Yeah, I hope so. And I look forward to doing more colors. So we started off with 12 colors, 12 colors in each. So there's a blue, there's a green, there's a red, there's an orange. I'm looking forward to doing more.
Brandon, can we switch the camera over to the fabrics that we have here? And
Please, yes, thank you. Yes, sure.
Okay.
Do so.
because
nothing
we'll have you talk us through them, but we have the hold on, the sample yardage here. So Sarah's operating the camera again. Good job, Sarah. Say yes. Yeah, say hello.
Nice shoes, Sarah.
Oh, he sees your shoes.
No, I don't.
Oh.
Oh
So-
gosh, look at, don't you want to just take your spoon and start eating those red, magenta, fuchsia colors and those purples? The aqua blues are like, you know, when you're feeling down, you've got a great day and you look at those aqua blues, you just think about Caribbean.
Right.
I
They're
mean,
gorgeous.
Yeah,
And in person, they're beautiful.
I'm very pleased. And the depth in those greens look like a wet golf course.
Mm-hmm. The
And then
fabric,
there's the black and white, or the bit more contrast for those who are playing with black and white tones. That has more of a high contrast to them.
they're really beautiful, Brandon. You did a nice job.
Thank you
So
very
is-
much. I think they'll be very well. I know they'll be very useful and helpful to people. They just need to get someone to start cutting it up. But also, I love the idea of somebody wearing them as single color shirt.
Mm-hmm. That would look nice as well. And so now that we've shown you these 12 SKUs here, these are shipping in March. So these will be shipping to the quilt shops come March of this, soon. So what are we, 3-4 weeks away from, well, 2 weeks away from March, but they'll start shipping to the shops in March. So if you see some delicious eye candy here, be sure to look for your local quilt shop that has purchased this. And
Now,
they-
Sean, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but will it only be available on the boat, or will FreeSpirit be having pre-cut packs?
I believe it's only available on the Bolt. I don't believe we did any pre-cuts with this.
Okay.
Somebody will correct me if I'm incorrect in the messaging there, or someone will come tell me quickly if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we did any pre-cuts. And if Sarah, I don't know, can you spin back around and show that quilt again? So now that you've seen the fabrics and Brandon has shown you, you can see the quilt again that Kaffe already talked about.
Good point in case. Just look at how that blue outline around the center square of my funky flora, that blue border really picks up the turquoise in the central panel of my funky flora. It just gives that cold black and white panel a little bit of an electric shock and makes it sing.
Mm-hmm. The
So
soft,
yeah, you
the
need
soft
those
pink
labels.
one, yeah, the soft pink one right next to the center. I mean, it's really beautiful. And then
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
like kind of
Brandon,
marshmallow colors.
yeah, the blue around it gives it, nice
Yeah.
punch of color. It's great.
And what do you think to my fish lips? I bet you've never seen a pair of lips like that before.
We love it. And I hope everyone's giving us a bunch of hearts and thumbs up for these because, these are great. I think they're going to be great blenders. You can see in this one quilt we're showing you what a nice, beautiful job the reflection SKUs do with all of the other Kaffe Collective designs that are in that quilt.
And Sharon, please, can you remind people where they can find the pattern for this or the fabric listing?
Yes, so the pattern for this is, well, the name of this quilt again is called Misty Squares. It's a 62 by 64. This is not on our website yet, but it will be on our website the first week of March. it will be on the FreeSpiritFabrics.com website. And I can't tell you the page yet because I don't know, but it will be up on our website on March 1st. When the fabric starts to ship for the reflections, we will put this up.
Under projects.
Yeah, under projects.
I've just remembered, Sharon, before I leave the building, if anybody is traveling to the UK this summer and have any spare time and they want to go to the city of Bath, which is a beautiful Roman city, an hour and a half outside London on the train, we're going to be having an exhibition in the city centre at the Victoria Galleries, where we've shown several times before. It's literally down the road from the train station. And we're going to be having an exhibition of all the quilts that are from Timeless Themes. That exhibition will run through the summer and be running for 3 months. And the exhibition will be called, I think, Timeless Themes. Am I right? Yeah, I get a nod from the corner. So yeah, it must be right. Timeless Themes. And that will be a show to look out for. We're going to be having a show with the wonderful, fabulous creative artist Candice Behuth, who specializes in doing funky mosaic mirror frames, picture frames, and all sorts. So yeah, it'll be a great combination. We've shown with her before, and it's a marriage made in heaven.
That's awesome. Brandon,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things that I also wanted to let you and Kaffe know. So we have almost 200 people watching us today. So thank you to everyone that's tuned in. And we know that there'll be more afterwards. I was incorrect in what I said about the fat quarters for reflections. There is going to be a fat quarter pack in reflections. It's a 12-piece fat quarter pack, and it will be delivering to shops in April.
Oh,
So
right. Wow.
the
That would be
bolted
fun.
goods, right? The bolted goods will go out in March, and then the fat quarter pack will be delivering to shops in April.
So
So
that's a good way to start off with. If you want to start playing with those reflection fabrics, grab a charm pack.
yes, exactly. So we
And-
have that. And the other thing, Brandon, and I want to make mention of is there's going to be an 85 and Fabulous exhibit at the National Quilt Museum in Paducah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if you're going to be going to Kentucky
that's right. So if you're going to Kentucky,
for your fried chicken,
that's right. We'll have the 85 and Fabulous exhibit there. So that's the other collection that we delivered in December to celebrate Kaffe and his 85th birthday.
well, I
So-
have to say, if anybody is going all the way to Paducah, you must stop off at Hancock's of Paducah, which is an amazing, amazing, amazing fabric shop. I think it's one of the few fabric shops that we've been to. It's literally like going to a Walmart or fabrics, literally aisles upon aisles with a shopping cart of fabric. It's just extraordinary. And then samples that they have made up on all the walls. It really is quite a destination place that you must go to once in your time.
That's a great call out. I've never been, but I have heard it's magical. So
Yeah, and Justin, who runs it, is a treat to behold.
mhm.
Really charming people, lovely. Yeah.
Yes, he's a great guy. So Brandon, is there anything else that you wanted to call out? Because we have a couple of other things here that we'd like to show everybody.
I do. We've got prize time.
Oh, we have prize time,
We've got
but
prize time.
we
Yeah.
also want to show quilt backs.
Oh yeah. I've got.
You've
Well,
got
this is
one
quilt
there,
backs. Yeah.
right?
And you got some to show.
Right. We've got a bunch here that we're going to show. So let me pop the camera back over to Sarah.
Sharon, could you just talk about the quilt back? So for those who don't know what the quilt backs are about.
Sure. So these quilt backs, Sarah's got the camera on them. So hold on. I gotta get my notes. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sarah has the camera on our 108-inch quilt backs. These are 100% cotton sateen. 108-inch wide, and they are gorgeous. The hand on these is very, very nice. If you haven't touched any of these quilt backs before, you absolutely should make this a destination to do. You need to touch these fabrics, and you will now be buying them. So the SKUs that the designs that Sarah's showing you right now, the one she has the camera on, is called Tonal Flower. Or
Could you
Floral.
open it up?
Tonal Floral.
Sharon,
And-
could you pull out a corner?
Excuse me?
Can you pull out a corner so they can see?
Oh.
Because this design is particularly beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, well, don't you just want a ball gown in that? At least you can make yourself a dressing gown in that fabric.
Right, gorgeous, very nice. And like I said, when you touch it, it's so beautiful. It's very nice hand. It's very smooth. It adds a lot of weight onto the back of a quilt. You know, if you're put this on your quilt back, it feels great. I mean, I don't know another way to say it, but it really is gorgeous. And so then the fabric, the design right next to that is called Flower Net. Here, I'll open it up so Sarah can show you. Flower Net. This is the one that Kate was commenting on earlier that Brandon designed, and this is scaled up a little bit larger than the 44-inch width. Look how
And this
beautiful
is
that
this is the design that Kate was saying will be fabulous on a blue and white quilt.
Yes. This is gorgeous. I love this design, whether it
Thank
be
you.
here in the 108 or the 44s. It's really beautiful. Then over here, we have the climbing geranium and the purple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really nice. And that's scaled up from the 44 as well.
You know, Sharon, I was just thinking, if you have a jacket, to line a jacket with that fabric, and then you could just give people a flash as you're walking down the street, wouldn't that be
Exactly.
wonderful?
Exactly. And it would feel great too.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
only the back of a
absolutely.
quilt, but to line a jacket, it would feel really quite nice. It would be a great dress. Any of these would be a great dress. I mean, you can do a lot with these fabrics.
And what do you have on the back of the quilt that you've got the Misty quilt on the wall?
This one, we did the onion ring.
Wow, that looks like raindrops on the water.
It does. And it's a great match for the back of this quilt. I don't think we had the new ones in when we were having the sample made. But we like to show you those quilt backs too, because over here, we're gonna go slowly so we don't blur you out. These are all of our reorderable quilt backs. Sarah's showing you now. So here's the onion ring. And then
Lotus leaf,
lotus leaf. Thank you. Sarah's helping me along. Then we've got the
Millefiori.
Millefiori in the pastel, the blue, and the jade. All of these can be ordered from our reorderable catalog. They're available all the time. And then we have 3 new ones in the front. We have the brocade peony, which was behind Brandon and Kate when they were on camera. And that was the one right here that Sarah's showing you, this one. And then next to that, we have a Japanese chrysanthemum. And then the last one here is a pebble mosaic. These are all beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Brandon, this one goes very, very nicely with so many of our quilts. We
Yeah,
use a lot.
that one is particularly special.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
great,
very pleased with that one, I must say.
yeah, they're
but
all
I-
beautiful.
So Sharon, our listeners, the reason that we came up with this range of 108-inch wide sateen backing fabrics is that we found that after we designed a quilt on the front and put in so much effort and life and energy, and then we backed it with a solid fabric, it was just such a disappointment. So we wanted to start backing our quilts with something that had a little bit of personality and zap and kept the party going.
Mhm.
And now we get more comments on the backing of our quilts than actually the fronts. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I love how you and Kate say that, they keep the party going on the back, because you're right. I mean, when everybody puts so much time and effort into the front of the quilt, why cheat the back of the quilt? I mean, when you can
Exactly.
still have so much fun with the back, and you know, you turn down a quilt if it is in fact on your bed and you see another beautiful design. So
Yeah.
they really are beautiful.
Yeah. So do we have any questions before we go to bed?
That's a good question, Brandon. Hold on. Sarah's she's backing up. Hold on. I have you back on the spotlight.
Okay, I'll behave myself.
And she's checking for questions. I think the team's been answering a lot of the questions as we've gone.
Lots of love.
Yeah, lots of love is being sent, a lot of hearts, a lot of thumbs up.
People can't decide what they like the best.
Yep, they can't decide what they like the best. So they'll just have to go to the store and, make multiple decisions. We do have a question. We have 2 bundles of fabric here. I'm gonna have Sarah show these. I'm gonna pop these on the camera again. We have a question. So this will be a challenge. These 2 bundles of fabric we're gonna give away. We've got both of those bundles. Let me see. These
Wow,
are,
those bundles are worth quite a bit of money, so that's a big prize.
There are 2 fat quarter packs that
Wow.
we're going to give away. And what we want to know is who is the team leader or the woman in charge of FreeSpirit Fabrics. So if you can answer that question, you will be shipped a fat quarter bundle, and we will select the winner. And that lucky person will be notified over probably, how do we PM them? Yeah, we PM them.
Can
So-
I just add that her name is not Scott Fortunoff.
Well, right. We do know that.
I hope he's not watching. I get fired.
No, you won't. So anyways, well, I think that we've covered everything that we need to cover. I just want to remind everybody that the fabrics that we've shown you today are shipping to shops now. The ones that Kaffe showed us earlier, the ones that Brandon just introduced us to are the ones that are shipping in March. We showed you all those beautiful quilt backs. There's so many to choose from and so much to do with all of them. Backs of quilts, like Brandon has that one behind him. I mean, it's really beautiful. These quilt backs are beautiful when you're trying to pick out a backing for a quilt. And there's so many to choose from in different colorways that you're going to find one to match. You look great in that, I'd like to say. So, anyways, so thank you everyone for tuning in today. We are very happy that you joined us. Thank you to Kaffe and Brandon. As always, we'd love to have you. So thank you for joining us. And thank you to the team that was answering questions along the way. Thank you to Miss Sarah, who is always here to help me.
Sharon, could I just add, if anybody wants any more information about the up and coming events, we have scheduled and confirmed, go to kaffefassett.com events page. Our diary is running deep into 2024. Our workshops are getting booked up and so forth. We have a new retreat scheduled for Tucson, Arizona for January 2024. So if you want to find out more details about that, go to our events page. Also sign up for our social media on Instagram and also Brandon Mably Designs and Kaffe Fassett, because we're posting regularly pictures and inspirations and just little teasers. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Kaffe. Thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.